Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to do this super cute kitty mani. It has kind of a starry night vibe, and I feel like it's just in time for Halloween. So if you'd like to learn how to do this mani, just stay tuned. I have my little practice pad here. I tried to do a couple cat faces just to make sure that I could do it, and then with the Starry Night, this is my first time trying that kind of manicure. I really like that look, but it's just some crosses and dots, and I did have to undo and redo the moon. It's really curved, but I like it for now, considering it's my first one especially, but I really like the way it looked once it was done. The kitties almost give you the French tip look with a flare. So let's get right on into this. I have this here as my palette, so I'm going to get some black to start off with. This is the one that I will be using. This is my favorite one coat black, and this is just kind of what I use for everything. I've had it forever, cannot find the brand, but I really love it, so I'm gonna use it. This is the brush I have. Fine tip. And we're just gonna go right on in with this. I did find that it was easier to just use the big brush for this part and use the detail brush for the ears. But you can do whichever you feel more comfortable with. I feel like you have more control with the fine tip, but you have a wider brush to use with the nail polish brush. And for mine, I didn't cover the whole bottom, but you could totally bring it all the way out and do the ears up the sides. Oop. But you want to go ahead and make your ears, which are just little triangles. And this little smudge I'm going to be able to just cover up with a star, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think I need a little more polish. You could always just take a little off of the brush or out of the bottle direct with the brush if you'd like, but I like to just put it on a palette for myself. We're going to go in with another kitty head, so this is what I did for the other ones. Just kind of drain your brush off really good. You can always go in and thicken the coat, no problem if you need to. And if you need to wipe it up, that's usually not too big of an issue unless it's a lot. I'm going to go in with our little ears. Go in with our Next finger, again, just going to drain the brush. And then go in with our little ears. Sorry if my breathing's intense. I'm right next to the camera with my mouth. It's also why I'm not ultra loud, because I don't want to scream your ears off. And I'm just going to touch up this head shape a little bit. And next one, drain your brush. I'm not going to pull it over here and show you that because I've shown you a couple times. I don't want to be too repetitive with it, but if you want to show the actual process for you, just so you can kind of familiarize yourself with the shapes and how you would apply it. And with the little ears, just little triangles, and you can drag that onto the face and smooth it out as need be. Running out of paint, so once I finish this little ear, I'm going to add more. For our final set of ears, just a tiny tad. Drain our brush and go on in with our face. And notice it doesn't have to be perfect, especially around the outer edges, because you are just going to go in and do the ears off of that anyhow. So here we go with our little bit of fresh black paint. Put in our little triangle. And the last one. So there's our first part. Now, I went in next with the eyes. I just waited for this to dry, but really we can go in with our night sky while that dries. A little less time consuming. We're going to add some fresh white to our palette here. I am using a pure white from Julep. This one's called Lottie. And this is all going to be done with our fine tip brush in order to get those smaller lines. And there is no real order to this. You just go in and place these stars wherever you like them. They're just some crosses or plus signs. And a few little dots. I'm going to do the moon on this one since I have a little bit more room. These middle nails are pretty small right now. It's starting to get a bit gummy here. It's drying out. And I'm going to put a little bit more just to keep it fresh. Not a whole lot. And I'm going to try to mix it in with what's here, just to freshen it up a bit. Now I'm going to go in with the moon, but I'm going to do it this way rather than this way. And I'm going to try to make it a little less C-curve. I mean, it almost touches on this side, so I guess I'll do my dots first to release a little bit of this polish from the brush. And here's our base C, and then I just want to at least crisp up my line here and come around. It's still pretty C-curved, but it is okay. Again, if you have anything you want to clean up, just go ahead and grab that. You could even take your brush, a little bit of water against the edge if you want to soften the paint. And I'm going to do one very small cross star here. Let's do our thumb. Could probably do another moon, but I feel like one on the hand is enough anymore. Feels a little redundant to me, but you can do it however you want. I am tempted to do it just because it's the biggest nail on this hand right now, but let's go in with a cross star and cover up my big splotch here. I'm going to try to crisp up these tips. That's probably the biggest star on this hand, but it covers up that splotch about 95%, so that was the point of that. And we're going to do another big one over here. And maybe a few small ones, just because it is such a big nail. You have so much room to work with. Getting a little gummy here, it's leaving the strings. You don't want to let it get to that point like I did. So, we're going to add a drop more. Like literally a drop, just to freshen this up again. Because we only have a couple more little dot stars left. And don't worry about any of these little mistakes on the skin. You can always clean that up in the end, which is what I'll be doing. Oh my goodness, I just trailed a string. Be careful when it gets dry like this, y'all. It's still really dry, but I think it's mostly my brush. No, it keeps stringing, so I'm gonna have to do a new pile, I think. It's just too thick at this point. But I could just take it right off the brush, honestly. That's probably the best thing. less waste. This is my favorite white. And since I don't make it anymore, I'm kind of sparing with it, but let's go in with our stars. And I just want one tiny baby one right here. It's definitely not as baby as it could have been, but that's okay. This is freehand nail art. You are the boss, and you can have that happy little accident, as our friend Bob Ross would say. It's really, it looks beautiful. Especially all together with the rest of them. So there's that. Just kind of dab off my brush. And now we should be clear to do our kitty eyes. So in order to do those, we need green. We're going to go in with some fresh green paint. This one is also a julep, and this one is called Leah. This one is a 2011 one. This one's an old one. It's gorgeous because it has the slightest bit of shimmer, which, there you go, kind of glittery, but just the slightest bit. So now we want to go in, I'm going to go ahead and leave that flash on. We're going to go in with our little kitty eyes. Just as close to circle as you can get. Freehand circles are not always the easiest. They definitely don't have to be perfect, and if you get a little too much like this, which it's really not too bad, but I'll just go in with a little bit of black and reshape that, no problem. So that's where this kind of painting is very forgiving, because you can always go back and touch it up if you don't necessarily like the shape or size of something. Let's go in with our little pinky nail. I think I'm going to actually expand that to there instead. And there is our main fingers. Let's do our thumb. That one I'm going to have to touch up and reshape a little bit when I come back in for the final touch, which is the slits in the eyeballs, which is the cat eyes. So we will let the base there dry, and then we will come back for any final touches and the pupils. And now that our little eyeballs are dry, we want to go in and give them their unique cat eye look. And so we are going to go ahead and get our last little bit of polish out. Add some fresh black to our palette. And in with those final painting touches we go. Oh, that made that really goopy. Okay, so let's learn from my little experience here. If you start going in to these really thick piles, they're gonna gum back up. So let's just go on the outer edge here. Add some fresh stuff. That's how old the bottle is, y'all. The silver is like coming completely off all over me. It's like having flakies everywhere. Okay, let's go in with our new paint. Much easier to work with. Let's start here. Let's go right on in with these. Aren't those cute? Whatever happens, you just kind of want to keep them even within the same kitty. Then they'll look fine. I've been pushing myself to do some freehand art because I really do enjoy it, even if I'm technically not the greatest. But practice makes perfect, and if I don't ever try, I'm not ever going to learn. So I encourage you guys, even after the Halloween season passes, to try something new. Try something that you've been wanting to do, especially if it pushes you in a new direction. Growth is a beautiful thing. And now we are to this last one, which has some serious dysfunction in his life. So these all turned out okay as far as the shape, but the eyeballs on this one are a little uneven. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our black and just reshape from the outside. See how we just kind of rounded that off? And then on the other side as well. And then we can go in with our finishing touches. This is now goopy again. So I'm going to go direct off of the brush. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to use this as my palette. This is literally one last kitty. So we're just going to get a little paint from there and go right on in with this. A little bit more paint. Just trying to even this one out with the other one a little bit because I went in a little heavier. And there's that. So we'll return our little brush to its home. And we are going to let those dry because we definitely want to top coat this and make sure our work is safe. Oh no, I smushed the little kitty. Let's see if we can fix it. I just kind of wonked the eyeball over, so what I'm going to do is, this is what happens when you have a mistake, y'all. I'm going to use my brush again for my palette, and we're just going to go right on in with those. No problem. Well, a little problem. Let's round this out. There we go. Now let's take a look. Much better. So we're going to let those dry. Actually return this to its home. And we want to clean our brush, get a little water, and completely clean that out. And then we can discard of our palette and our cleaning supplies. And now we can go in and kind of clean up all this paint we have going on. 100% nail polish remover is going to be your best bet. I'm just going to go in with a Q-tip and see what we have to clean here. So it's super simple to clean up. If you do make mistakes, don't worry about it. It's not too hard to fix. If it's on the nail, use a little water or just scrape it directly off. And then as far as your skin, that's even less of a concern because you can just go in like I am and clean that up. I'm going to go in with my other side and dip that for the other hand. Just be careful of how you're holding things as to not smush or smudge anything. Okay, now this should be dry, and now that I'm all cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and top coat these. Get your favorite top coat. And one tip I have for anytime you're doing nail art like this, just kind of hover and lightly glide the nail polish top coat over it. Do not press down very hard or you will get a lot of streaking, pulling. Doesn't look good unless you're intending to do it. So we're just going to go right on in with our top coat to seal everything in. I got a nice healthy amount on this one because there's a little bit of sticking up on one side of the underlayer of polish. And there we have top coated them off. And they are ready to go. So then you have a full hand of Starry Night kitties. So cute. And when you just kind of look fast at these, they totally look like French tips. So that's really cute. And I really love the color in the background, which I will show you. The background color or base color is this Bee's Knees nail polish or Bee's Knees lacquer, indie nail lacquer, which is Watching Me from the Radio Rental Collection. That was her most recent release. And it is a kind of gold toned yellow with a lot of beautiful shifting, shimmering shimmer. Say that 10 times fast. As well as a scattery, hollow type effect. The really nice green flash you see gives such a cool aurora borealis night sky effect, even though it is gold. As a background, I feel like that is so nice. You do have the artistic liberty, however, to use whatever background you see that would work the best or look the best in your opinion. So if you have enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. And if you'd like more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel. I do nail videos multiple times a week. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll make sure to never miss out. So until next time, friends, thanks so much for painting with me.